Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Spirit Blossom Mastery and I'll be facing off against the Nasus adventure from the Teamfight Adventures campaign. I figured since I needed to beat this adventure with a Ionian champion, I should use one that's on the harder side, at least a little bit. Spirit Blossom Mastery doesn't come down until turn 8, so that gives the opponent plenty of time to chip away at our nexus, and that will make it harder for us to survive because of the wither effect. Because of that, I decided to bring Starchild Staff. Hopefully the regeneration between encounters actually pays off. And then we have secret techniques, just so Mastery does something, even if he's not on the field. And Chemtech Duplicator, just in case Mastery doesn't close out the game when I play him, I'll actually get some value out of him being on the board. Yeah, let's do it. I'm not sure if there's any augment that makes this any more tolerable. BRB, can we afford to skip our first turn? Maybe because we have spells we can play that generate blockers. Maybe we can afford to pick up BRB. Something that gives us a ramp would be nice. The opposite of Cluttered Mind. If your bench is empty, gain a mana gem maybe. We have 6 rerolls. Do I want to spend them here? I'll pick up BRB. We can only play a 2-drop on the first turn anyway. And our 2-drops aren't really that important to begin with. And thanks to the spells, yeah, I'll keep the Serene Spirit, the Ghost, and toss everything else. I'll play the Serene Spirit next turn, then I'll play the Ghost on it, and then I'll use the blocker we get off of the Ghost as a blocker for the opponent's 2 units. 3 units. Actually 4 units from the Emperor's dice. This is a problem. It's a very scary board.
See what we see, soldier.
Let's drop down the Spirit Aspirant since the opponent decided to play an additional unit. And now, how do I do this to mitigate as much damage as possible? Obviously we need to block here, we need to block here, and I think I'll do this just because I want to attack with the elusive Serene Spirit and get full spell mana for the next turn, though I'm not certain how I'm actually going to pull this off. I can do this to get elusive. Grant targeted allies an epic item. That can be interesting. We'll be able to buff up a unit a nice amount next turn. Eight. That's not enough to make this unit survive. So I guess we're buffing up this guy instead. Let's do Prodigy Shade again, just to draw an additional card. Maybe we draw something that generates a blocker. Really, the opponent's passing. I'll take that pass. That means this turn I can go for a Petals of Fate here, draw a card, hopefully that's a low roll. That might still be enough to close out the game, however. I can attack with all of my elusives and deal enough damage. Okay, so we lost about half of our life. Let's check out. Okay, almost half of our life. So things could have gone better, definitely. But they also could have gone worse. Let's reroll. We want something that has some sort of impact on the board. None of these do that. Forgotten artifact. Summon a Sanson Charger, then give your allies challenger this round. None of these are that great. I'm going to reroll again. Call to Resistance Grifter's deck. It's ramp. I'm going to pick it up. It might be a mistake because the spell in and of itself is extremely bad, but I think the ramp is going to be relevant later on. Severe Riven Jarvan. We can animate the blade fragments. That's not good enough. Let's reroll here. Something that gives us healing might have been nice. Stuff that targets our own units is nice as well. But none of these do that. Callista Varus. Varus cares about targeting your own units. For each ally target, summon a 1/1 ephemeral unit, copy me onto them. That generates a board in and of itself, so let's pick it up. Spell chest, healer, Scribe of Sorrows. I can go for a spell chest or a healer. I'm at full health here because of the regeneration. I have 23 regeneration on Spirit Blossom Champions or on Spirit Blossom Mastery, really? Well, that means I can play a lot more fast and loose with my health. I didn't realize my regeneration was so high. Well, this might be easier than I anticipated. If I were to cut a card, what card would I cut? Trusty Adnary, probably. Yeah, let's go for the healer encounter and just cut the worst card from my deck. Vicious Mockery, Big Game Tycoon. I won't be able to properly kill the Big Game Tycoon, so maybe the Vicious Mockery is a little bit easier to deal with, so I don't have to worry about the threat that starts out on the board, and I have to deal with as soon as possible, otherwise the opponent just accumulates too much value. At least that's my plan. I'll keep this hand. I can go Serene Spirit into Practice Makes Perfect next turn. I can also go for the Cold Resistance or the Battles of Fate, depending on what the opponent does. Foe summons a unit, grant the volume to the player's units with less power than it. I am actually going to do... let the opponent spend his mana. At least this way I can do this. I'll properly trade into these two, and I'll do this just to develop two blockers for these two units so I take as little damage as possible. Chipping away at these two's health total might be nice. Fallen Student with Entrancing Lure. It would be nice to draw a card. I'll actually do this. Go up to full mana. That debuffs my units. I'll do this to rally. Mine end up being debuffed again, but I don't care because I just want to buff up the Serene Spirit. Then I can use the Fallen Student to cycle itself, while at the same time generating a Grief's Lesson that gives something 7/7. And I'll pass the turn. We're safe. Next turn I can go for a momentous choice here. Give that unit or I can just let it die. No, I need to do this just so I generate 2 blockers. Wait, wasn't it supposed to summon a 1/1? Or did I misread the way that worked? Maybe I misread or misinterpreted. Anyway, let's ramp up a little bit by doing this as well. And now we have a full board of blockers. Let's see what the opponent does. He's buffing his own unit with impact, okay. And attacking with 3 units. Definitely didn't anticipate that. I'll do this. Just so I clear at least 2 of the opponent's units. And the next turn I'll just play the Spirit Blossom Mastery and close out the game. I'm just going to get a full board of very large units. You know what would be nice instead of Chemtech Duplicator? Maybe the power that gives everything Overwhelm. Well, it doesn't matter if all of my animated spells get elusive like they did last game, but it could still be a good choice. Inner Beast, Sneaky Trap, Fleet Admiral Shelley. I'll pick up the Inner Beast, but I'm going to cut it as soon as possible. I don't really think it's that valuable. Easy Prey. It's something. Makes the first unit I play a bit better. Parallel conversions. Nah, it's not worth it to pick up any of these. Stargazer, Gold Chest, definitely want to go for the Stargazer. If I can get a power that synergizes with spellcasting, I'll be very happy. So I'll keep the Ghost and the Prodigy's Shade. It's a decent turn tool. That's fine. Let's see what he does here. Is he going to transform his unit? Yes, he is. And he transforms it into a towering pair of fun. That's the worst thing that could have happened. Let's do Grifter's deck. Get some ramp going. And try to minimize the amount of damage I take here. Next turn I'll play the Prodigy's Shade. And get even more ramp going. So that next turn I can go for the Spirit Blossom Mastery. Mementos Choice. Let's go for the Mementos Choice. Just so I can deal a little bit of damage to the opponent's Nexus this turn. Ooh, I can actually go for the Fallen Student here as well. Get a rally effect off. Let's let the opponent block however he wishes. I don't think it would have mattered all that much. Now I get to attack again. Another 18 damage goes through. And now the opponent's probably dead to the Mastery. Turns out picking up that ramp spell did pay off.
Lessons begin. Each strike spells a new legacy.
Ah, it's unfortunate. We hit a couple of cold resistances. But the opponent just decided to not block anything, so we won anyway.
Master is an eternal student.
Well, that was a lot easier than I expected. I think I found a winning combo here. Chain of Corruption, Thornblade, Whistle Guard. I'll pick up the Thornblade. Still want to cut the card in the next healer encounter. Clever Camouflage. Nah. I can do better than all of these. Repassance, Guile. I'll take the Repassance. Helps keep my units stopped off, at least the ones that don't die immediately when they strike. Viego might pose a bit of a challenge actually. I don't have a clear way to deal with Viego, so you'll probably get to keep his Viego on board for a while. I'll keep this hand, that's nice. We can trade in the Fallen Student on the second turn to get a Grief's Lesson. We won't get to ramp as fast as we did last time, or last encounter, but we don't have a mastery in our opening hand. I can also go Serene Spirit. Practice makes perfect. Let's drop on the Serene Spirit. And I'll practice makes perfect it. Get a blocker for the Viego. Actually I won't. Or at least not one that's relevant enough. I guess I'll do this. Battles of Fate. Just to minimize the damage I take further. Yeah, this is fine. I really want to strike with the Serene Spirit to get some extra mana. I think that will be nice for us. Oh, I didn't realize Viego would level up that quickly. I guess he did lose at least 10 worth of attack that turn. Actually lost the Camavaran soldiers and the encroaching mists, okay. Well, am I screwed? Probably. Definitely. He's going to steal my unit next turn anyway. So that's a problem. I'm going to need another blocker. This guy? Will this save us? Will the other Fallen Student save us? Let's go Grief's Lesson here. That's going to give us a blocker for Viego. And then that there. And then I can do the Expenses Protection to generate an additional blocker. And it cycles a card. 2 cards, or it draws 2 cards actually. Okay, I managed to survive. And I kill Viego too. Oh, I was worried for a second there. Well, now I just have to stall until I get mastery. I think I can do that. I should definitely be able to do that. Let's get practice makes perfect. It gives this card an additional epic item. The problem is the opponent's getting 3 Grief Lessons off of the Fallen Student. can do this, give this unit elusive, and I have 3 units that have double attack and elusive. So I think I can close out the game if I give one of them the Grief's Lesson. Just like this. Yep. Unless he has removal? No, he doesn't. Okay, I was not too worried. Next turn I still had options. The opponent would get an additional unit though. So maybe that would have been a problem. And he still had an additional Grief's Lesson, so I definitely need to block everything. But it was fine. I managed to pull off the victory anyway. Oh, hope this is not a sign of things to come. We definitely struggle against Viego. More than we should have. Pandora's board. Nah. Pandora's items. I guess we're taking Pandora's items. Also, I'm definitely going for the harder path. I want the extra power. And I want the challenge. Pandora's items should prove to be interesting. My cards already have a item from the BRB. So while it doesn't work on stuff like Mastery, it should work here for the other cards.
The desert's prices, just the right
The
price.
problem is the opponent does start off pretty strong with a 9-6 and then an 8-5. He's going to remove that guy. Let's play the Serene Spirit and go for a Practice Makes Perfect. Then I just have to hope the... Actually, I can go Battles of Fate, right? Because we restore 1 mana. When you play a spell targeting only allies animated. Each round, the first time you play a spell, refill 1 spell mana. So we can go for a Battles of Fate for 1. Generate a blocker. Then we'll go Practice Makes Perfect. Now we can block like this. And we lose nothing. Or we lose no health. We lose the Serene Spirit and we waste the Rally. But I'm not too worried. Next turn. I'll pass priority back to the opponent, let him waste his power. And I'll just go Protoporo Spirit Aspirant. And I want to Petals of Fate again. I can go for Yoink. I don't really want any of the opponent's cards though. Let's just go for Petals. See what we get here. Interesting. I'll save the Cold Resistance for the next turn. Get the mana off of this. And we can Momentous Choice here too. Let's try to get a nice blocker for this guy. At least we don't lose any unit when we do jump block into him. Actually, he's going to trade at the end of the turn, right? Yeah, the strongest enemy and I strike each other. Well, at least now we can play Mastery next turn. Because of all of the extra mana we got here. Yeah, sure, I'll play the Mastery. He is free. Or I do refill my entire spell mana bar, or mana bar, when I do play him. The unfortunate part is that most of my units are just high health units, not high attack ones. So I don't really close out the game. That's extremely unfortunate. There was a 50% chance that that attack would hit the Mastery, and I lost out on the 50% chance. Okay, that's fine. I can try to give the Varus a bunch of attack by doing this. We'll give this guy vulnerable. Give Varus +1 attack. Nah, it doesn't matter.
Give in.
Fall to Sharima.
Because that thing has spell shield anyway.
We deliver their end.
At least I can Prophet Scout. Unfortunate part is Varus attack goes back down. Can I do something that help us close out the game here? We could if we got double attack actually. We don't hit double attack.
Mercy.
That's unfortunate. And we don't even need scout off of another of these units. We're one off. Actually, no, we're not. Varus will give his keywords to this Poro, so we're not one off. Oh, that was almost a loss.
Born on an arrow.
Almost a loss. When the opponent removed the mastery, I honestly didn't expect the opponent to have anything that he could play that would kill the mastery, and I didn't expect him to hit the 50% chance to kill the mastery. But that's what I guess for messing with luck. Evolution, Spell Slinger gearing up. Evolution might be a legendary power, but Spell Slinger seems a bit better with this deck. We don't really care about the cost of the spells we're casting. We only care about casting said spells. So while it does feel bad, I'm going to pass up on the evolution. Let's hope this is not a blunder. I mean, most of my units don't really have a lot of keywords anyway. At best it would have been a +1/+1 on most cards like this one. We have to pass the first turn anyway, so this is fine. The problem comes when we do reach the next turn. If the opponent hits the 50-50 to generate a Dune Swallower, I might take a lot more damage than I want here. I can still just do this, though. Battles of Fate. Get a blocker. I will go for the Fallen Soldier or Fallen Student. I'm going to drop down the Fallen Student. I don't have enough blockers otherwise. Oh, the opponent got unlucky. Well, I might just win then. And now we filled up his entire board. So now I don't have to worry about him going ahead and dealing 15 damage through Overwhelm to my Nexus. Yeah, I'll let the Fallen Student die. It doesn't really matter. Let's use the gem here. I'll just get some damage through. Then next turn, I suppose I'll go for the Varus because I have no better plays.
There is so much
Oh,
power in us.
since he has a full board, he completely wastes his power. Nice. Can go for the Grief's Lesson here, but I can get a better buff if I just go for Practice Makes Perfect on the Varus. Attack with the Varus, then attack with the Blade Master's Phantom.
There's a price to pay.
to you? No way.
And the opponent's at half health now. Just like that. Well, he did deal a bunch of damage last turn too. So it's only fair that he takes a bunch of damage here. And it's only fair that I generate a bunch of blockers here so that he doesn't deal any more damage. I'll do this. Let's generate some more blockers. I'll do this too, keep buffing up my units out of range. Or not out of range, buffing up my units so that the Grief's Lesson becomes even better. Now it's a plus 19, plus 9. Well, the opponent just loses next turn anyway to the virus I have on board. Actually, right, the buff goes away. So I do have to play something first. Ooh. Oh. I shouldn't have played something first, I should have just attacked and used the Grief's Lesson to close out the game. That's what I get for being dumb. I can still play Varus and Grief's Lesson. So it's fine.
The only way, isn't it?
And he doesn't have... His last card doesn't have what it takes to save him here. So he just loses.
We deliver their end.
94 damage. I might be able to one-shot the last encounter.
Vengeance born on an arrowhead.
We'll see. A shop or... Definitely this one. It's a card that's already in my deck. Spells chest or a shop. Let's go for the shop. It's more fun. Mystic Meditation. Yep. Definitely picking that up. Inner Beast. This time with a Brainworm. Nah. But discarding cards from the opponent's hand is fun. I'm going to pick it up just because of that. And we do discard 2 cards because every buff spell is essentially copied onto a different target. While it was fun, I'll cut the Thorn Blade. I don't think a plus 5 attack buff is really all that necessary. But it does give us 2 bodies. So maybe it was fine to keep. It's more consistent this way. Or the deck becomes more consistent this way. This is a good first turn. Or a second turn. We don't get to play the first turn. He might play some cards here, deal a bit of damage here. Just 8 though. Next turn I'll go for the Serene Spirit. I'll buff it up with the Momentous Choice. Maybe I'll play the Petals of Fate for free. Let's play the Petals of Fate for free. I'm not going to get any board presence out of this, but it's fine. Just because I'm buffing up this Serene Spirit by a bunch. Or we're giving it a bunch of epic items. Well, that was an accident. I guess now we have a level 2 Nora. Just like that. Also, I'll do this. Just to try and kill the Nasus. Since we have Scout and double attack. Let's attack like this. Let's do Ghost. The Seraphine, sure. Oh, we're 2 off. That's unfortunate. If Seraphine dies, or one of my other units die, the opponent just dies next turn, because I rally. Let's drop down the Prodigy Shade, sure. Get some more practice makes perfect. Oh, and we drew another one.
Cut them for our god!
Do you want to attack, opponent? I guess he does.
Whoa, you sound great.
Well, he's going to die.
Are you lost too?
Even if you level up the Nasus, it's completely irrelevant. I can just attack you with the elusive Nora. And the elusive Prodigy's Shade. So just like that, the opponent dies. Well, Nora carried that last game even though she wasn't in our deck. That was a surprise. Mastery did a lot less than I anticipated. I figured our games would go on longer and I would have been able to play Mastery a lot more frequently. I guess I was wrong. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.